In business, the National Food and Buffer Stock Company, NAFCO, has assured government is doing its best to boost the marketing and distribution of local rice on the market. Chief Executive of NAFCO, Hanan Abdul Wahab, says that a technical committee for rice marketing has been established to address the challenge of unavailability of local brands.
We were hit with a challenge of a glut, which as government we have gone into salvage the situation. But then it is not just about the production, it's about processing, it's a whole value chain. And today we are looking for a permanent solution to the rice business. On the back of that, the Minister for Food and Agriculture, on behalf of His Excellency the President, has set up a committee, a technical committee on rice marketing in Ghana. So based on that, government in the Fumbisi area where they produce a lot of rice because of the valleys there, predominantly the farmers there are producing rice. We are putting up 2 mills in that area. One from the Ministry of Trade and Industry, the other one from Ministry of Food and Agriculture. We are hoping that in the next 90 days, we will start with the installation of the mill for that of the Ministry of Food and Agriculture, so that harvested paddy rice can be milled at the right time. So it is a challenge, and as government we are working very hard to make sure that we will get to where we are.
Now, the finance minister in the presentation of the 2020 budget disclosed government will raise up to $3 billion in Eurobonds in 2020. It has been disclosed recently that the country will embark on the roadshow in the first quarter of 2020. Two key issues that came up during the nation's international borrowing is that of timing and the cost at which we will borrow. Investment analyst Michael Kobler has been speaking to that on the business edition of PM Express.
Typically, the election year, the first 6 months is the active period. If you are not able to engage or do anything meaningful within the first 6 months of the election year, you've lost it. So in terms of timing, the first quarter, early second quarter will be perfect timing. In terms of pricing, it will largely depend on our track record. You spoke about transparency in the last election. How have we deployed the funds that we borrowed in the last election, the $3 billion? What did we tell investors we were going to use the money for, and what have we used it for? You'll be surprised. We sit here in this country, but the investors out there know a lot more than we do. And they follow and track these things to the letter. So you go on a typical roadshow, and I was privileged to be in the first and second roadshow in this country, and they ask you very niggling questions, very down to the detail, and you'll be surprised. They will expose your nakedness to you. If you had said anything in your prospectus which is not the truth, you'll be found out. These guys are very smart investors, they're very shrewd, and they engage different countries. So what I'll say is that all over Africa, elections bring some kinds of uncertainty because of the track record that we have. And we always say we'll stick to fiscal discipline. We don't. We will not overspend. We overblow the budget. Our deficits are high and all that. So investors will generally be wary of these sentiments. And then based on all the issues around the last borrowing and how it has been deployed, investors will take a decision on how to price the bond.
Meanwhile, economist Godfrey Bokwen has some advice for government as we inch closer to the 2020 elections. Election years have been marred by what some describe as overspending with dire consequences for the economy. Professor Bokwen believes that this is the time government must prove it is fiscally disciplined, especially as we have passed the fiscal responsibility law.
I'll call on government and say that, you know what, let's just use next year to prove all of us that, yes, that you know what, we will not make the mistakes that we have made in the time past. We will maintain fiscal discipline. Because when you read across the international community and even from the domestic market, the fear is whether government will maintain fiscal discipline.
Okay.
That we will not spend in excess of the projected, we will not do so many off-budget expenditures. And those off-budget expenditures usually do not go to enhance the productive asset of the economy. They are politically motivated.
Okay.
And then also, so many things we do not explore efficiency. We don't have fiscal space. The little we have, let's make sure that we put the little money in the areas that can generate the most benefit for all of us.
Okay. And that's all in business for now. Back to you, Komla.